All right, beautiful creatives. If you are looking to step up your SEO game, you're going to love this short and sweet, but really full of tips episode. My friend Tanya Lawson is a musician, also educator. We know we love our educators around here, blogger, and passive income specialist whose mission is to empower creatives to build out passive income streams so that they have financial freedom. And you guys, blogging and SEO and helping people find your website is still very much a thing. And I absolutely love how Tanya breaks this down into some really simple things that we can do right away. She's extremely knowledgeable. You guys are going to love getting to know her. We have so many things in common. She loves journaling and bullet journals. And most importantly, she loves helping other creatives succeed. So let's bring on my friend Tanya. I cannot wait for you guys to meet her. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. This podcast is your space, your corner of the world to be messy, creative, and ambitious as you want to be. I'm incredibly passionate about helping people do what they love and make a living doing it. We all know that is a messy process, but the messy imperfection, the messy success is what makes it all so beautiful. I'm here to help you build community around your brand so that marketing is easy. There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire, in my opinion. We're all in this together. We shine the light on others, focus on leadership, and our theme here for 2024 is the 1% adventure, where we're getting 1% better every single day. So what do you say we get started? All right. Hello, Tanya. Welcome to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. We have some similarities in our audience and our love for bullet journals. So tell everyone who you are and what you do in like the most fun version.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. So, I'm Tanya. I'm a musician, blogger, passive income SEO specialist, and planner addict. So I love all things planning, bullet journals, and it is my passion to help other people develop their websites and set them up in a way that they can start earning passive sales and start building out an income portfolio.
I love it. So tell us, like, how does one do that? And I know you work with musicians, but you said you also help anyone with a website with this?
Yes, so
Okay.
not just musicians. I do
Okay.
have naturally a lot of musicians in my audience. I was in music school for 10
Mhm.
years. So, but no, really, it doesn't matter if you're a musician, a creative, a small business owner. If you have a website, which you should, and you want to start bringing in passive sales through your website and not have to spend all your time promoting on social media, I'm the person for you.
Very cool. Okay, and you do this through SEO. Do you work on all different platforms? I use Show It. A lot of my students use Show It. A few on Squarespace. Do you have a favorite?
My favorite is WordPress. I'm an
Mm.
old school blogger. I love WordPress, but I have clients that are on Squarespace and Wix as well. And used to, WordPress was really the platform you had to be on if you wanted to be successful with Google. But things have changed so much in the last few years that you can really show up regardless of what platform you're using.
Oh, that's so good to know. I know for a while I felt like Wix and Weebly, I was like, those are not so great for SEO, but I'm a little out of the game. That was probably like 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, things have changed quite a bit. Like I said, in the last few years, Google put out update after update after update last year. It was nuts. It had people scrambling, and really the people who came out on top were the people who were already existing in the creative space. We were already doing things differently. We did not have those niche websites that were all about product reviews. Those are the ones that took a huge, huge hit.
Mm,
And the platform you're on didn't matter as much anymore as long as your website was optimized to get found on search engines.
very cool. Now, do you also work with programs like Pinterest, like to give it even more SEO juice, or do you just do website stuff?
Okay, so Pinterest is not going to give you a lot of SEO juice. It
Mm,
will get you some website traffic. I have done a little bit in Pinterest, but for me, honestly, Pinterest requires way too much work. I am more of a set it and forget it kind of person.
mm,
And
mhm.
that's what's so great about SEO is if you set it up the right way. I have one blog post that I literally wrote 4 years ago that still makes me Amazon commissions every single month.
I love
And
it.
it's because of the way I set it up, and that's what I'm all about.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I know some of my photography blogs. So, like 10 years ago, I was like hardcore photography blogger, and some of those blogs like still get traffic, and I'll still get wedding inquiries because of the venue that I used, and people are searching weddings at that venue. So, I do 100% like see the proof in the pudding when it comes to this. And a lot of my listeners are podcasters as well as I'm a podcaster. What kind of tips do you have when we do our show notes to like really get the best SEO juice?
Okay, so when you do your show notes, there are a few things that you can do. One, make sure they're keyword optimized. What is the show about? Think about someone who is searching Google to find your show. What are they searching for? So, for example, this one might be, SEO on my website.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as you write your show notes, be sure to incorporate that keyword along with related keywords. Google's smart, it understands. It will give it a better picture. Then, the more links you can add in as well. Obviously, you want backlinks to your show notes, but also say you interview me, you include links to my website. That's going to show Google, oh, this is authority. Oh, you really talked to this person. Google's really looking for those AI generated, unedited blog posts that are
Mm,
just thrown out there, and that's what it's targeting to like cut down and remove
mm,
from search engines. So you want to make sure you have authority, and your podcast guests give you the authority around that keyword. You can also, obviously, your show notes are going to be linked to your podcast. If you can also link them to clips on YouTube or on social
mm.
media, that's going to continue to build authority, and it's going to raise you up in the Google rankings. If you've searched Google recently, you're going to see that a lot of video content is showing up at the very top. And when you click on that, it will then take you to your website.
Oh, good to know. Yeah, we should start adding video into ours. That's definitely on the radar. And I know for a while, like the length of the post was really important. I don't remember, like at one point it was like shorter, and then it went to like Google wanted the long forms. What's the latest trend with that?
Okay, so the latest trend is Google doesn't care.
Mm,
Google wants the question answered
mm,
above the fold.
love it.
So if you're targeting your audience, you've got it centered around a keyword, and maybe your podcast centers around one specific question or the main key point, make sure you have that answered above the fold, which means just as soon as you log in, you see the answer, like within the,
Mm,
the first paragraph. That's the type of content Google is ranking. Google doesn't really care if that blog post is 5,000 words or 500 words, as long it is helpful. Google was really big on the long form content, and I trust me, I have tons of it out there on all of my websites. And that content is still doing okay. I may have gone in and edited a little bit to move the main answer to the top, but
mhm.
Google doesn't care about length anymore. It's all about user experience.
Oh,
How
that's so good to
easy is it?
hear.
Yeah, how easy is it for the user to find what they're looking for?
Yes, that's so good to hear. I know when I Google things, a lot of the websites that I land on have so many ads. And I'm like, I just want to read what I'm looking for. Is Google like, does Google favor those? Probably if they're Google ads, I would imagine so.
Actually, the answer to that is it depends.
Okay.
It depends on how the ads affect user experience. With the Google update that came out in May, I did some deep soul searching and I took all the ads off my websites.
Wow.
Now, that meant I took a pay cut because I was
Yeah.
making money off of those ads. But my website, I saw it starting to fall with one of the updates. So I took ads off and it started climbing back up. I
Mm.
made other tweaks, and my website, TanyaLawson.com, has doubled in page views in the last 2 months.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's because I'm doing this. Now, I will probably add ads back in down the road, but I'm waiting till I get big enough to hit that 50,000 page views a month and higher so I can get on one of the really upper end ad servers,
Mm-hmm.
and they place things in a way that makes Google very happy and they do it for you.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Because I'm about working smarter, not harder, and the little bit of money I lost in ad revenue was fine to keep my site ranking at the top,
Mm-hmm.
and it means I don't have to spend hours on there moving ads around trying to find the best placement because my time is better spent putting out quality content.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not doing any of those things, but I'm definitely going to have my team listen to this. I'm like, I barely even log into the back end anymore, but that's, because my time is best spent here, like, with podcast guests and creating content. So let's reverse a little bit. And this is the Messy Success Podcast. So we love to hear really authentic, breakthrough moments. Tell us a little bit about like how you landed where you are. You said you were a teacher for a while?
Well, I actually do still teach.
Okay.
So, yes, okay, my story is the epitome of messy
Mm,
success. So, I'm gonna go way, way back
that's
to
okay.
to when I was in high school. I grew up really poor. I was on
Mm,
free lunches. We didn't have a lot of money. I was a bright kid. I was really driven. And my parents sat me down one day and were like, you keep talking about college, but if you want to go to college, you're going to have to figure out how to pay for it because we can't do
mm,
it. So I did. I worked hard. I applied for every scholarship I could find, whether I qualified for it or not. And I got a full ride to college.
amazing.
Um, I did end up taking out student loans for graduate school, but I got through graduate school and I graduated. I clarinet performance is my graduate degrees. My bachelor's is music education. So I finished graduate school. I have my doctorate. There are 50 clarinet jobs open in the country. I applied for all of them and I made the short list for two. I got down to the final two. They flew me out for interviews, and in both instances, they hired someone with more experience.
Mm,
Totally understandable. I was fresh out of school. The next year, so I built a music studio because it's what I knew how to do. I'd already done it twice.
yeah.
The next year, there were only 5 jobs. I made it to the final two in one, and they hired someone who had like 15 years of teaching experience, which,
Mm,
once again, I get. But it started to hit, I'm not really sure that this is going to be a good plan. And I was right because that was the beginning of the universities shifting over into an adjunct situation where they
mm,
hire adjunct professors for considerably less money and no benefits. So as full-time professors are retiring, they're being replaced with adjuncts and
mhm,
it saves the university money. So I built out my music studio. I live in one of two states where you can actually go into the schools to teach music lessons
oh,
and pull kids out of class. And several years ago, I think it was 5 or 6 now, the school system decided they weren't sure they wanted to allow that. And
mm,
I panicked. My whole livelihood depended on this. And I realized I was keeping all of my eggs in one basket, and that was dangerous.
mhm,
So, luckily, that didn't happen. They changed things around and actually had all the teachers become highly qualified, approved by the school board, background checked, and they were like, come on in. But I realized that I had a problem and I needed to do something about it.
mhm,
So, I knew I had a website. And I knew that it should be able to make money. Other people made money off their websites. Why wasn't I? So I took a course on search engine optimization, SEO. And it was taught by a bunch of bros who then proceeded to tell me that, "Oh, you're never gonna make money on this website. You need a niche website that does product reviews. That's how you make money." So that's what I did. I started my coffee website.
Oh.
And it worked. I started making money. And I was like, there's got to be a way to apply this because I have like a creative mind. I like working puzzles. I like experimenting. There's got to be a way to take what I know and apply it to my music website, which is now my business website. And and start getting more page views. So I started
Mhm.
tweaking the system that I had learned and I finally figured it out. And all of a sudden, my TanyaLawson.com was getting more page views than my coffee website. And I
So
was like, "Oh,
cool.
this is great." So I kind of went all in and I was like, "I have to show people how to do this." So I started teaching it. I started teaching it across all my platforms. I developed courses. I have my membership. And then COVID hit.
Mhm.
Well, I was already kind of tech savvy, so I just transitioned my entire music studio online, taught music lessons, but I wasn't driving to schools anymore, so I had extra time. So I started my garden website because that's what you do when
Yeah.
you're like me and you have extra time. And it started doing well. And then as the Google updates came out, the coffee website that was designed based off of that niche website, based on reviews, tanked
Oh, wow.
hardcore. But the good news is I had these other 2 websites that were based off of my own techniques that were still doing well and didn't tank. So that just goes to show you, you've gotta be creative. You have to mix things up. So now, instead of having all of my eggs in one basket, I have my music studio where I teach. I do work part-time as an adjunct professor at the university because I love teaching music.
Mhm.
I also have I'll say 2 websites now. The coffee website's still out there. It's sitting out there. I may work with it later, but I don't have time for that now. And I have income coming in from my courses, from my membership. I'm making passive sales of digital downloads and templates through my website. So now I have my eggs spread everywhere and built out an income portfolio so that if something happens and one of my income streams, like my coffee website, tanks, it's simply an inconvenience because I have all these others left to back it up. So that's my really long and messy story.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I was really blessed as well that when COVID hit, I'd already started to diversify my revenue. I was doing photography at the time, and I knew I didn't want to shoot weddings in my 40s, and a lot of the wedding photographers really struggled, during COVID, but luckily I had already started doing online education, online business coaching, had a membership, all the things, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you that I started all of this right before this happened because then people are scrambling trying to figure it out, but look at how many cool online opportunities have happened because of that."
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you say was kind of like your breakthrough moment? Was there ever a time where you were like, this is definitely what I want to do with my life and how I want to help people?
Oh, once I finally figured out how to make SEO work on my own website, I was like,
Yeah.
this is what I want to help people do. There are so many creatives out there who have like great offerings. They may have digital downloads they sell, they may be sticker shops, they may have services they offer. They're great, but nobody knows about them because
Mm,
they can't be found online. And I
yeah.
want to help those people get found online. Small businesses, people in the creative arts, photography, visual art, etc.
Yeah, that's awesome. So many of my students are artists or makers or coaches of some kind. I have a planner project. I created my own planner that has bullet journal pages, and I'm like, now I got to figure out how to get this thing found online.
Well, I can help
Yeah.
with that.
Oh my gosh. And it's a product, and I'm like, we have it on Amazon. So I'm like in that phase of like, should I pull it from Amazon and go totally on my website? Should I still continue to do both? And it's such a small it's a big project, but it's also a small project where it requires my time to make these little sales, and that's where I kind of like stopped doing a lot of the digital downloads and stuff too, because I'm like, to really be super profitable with low ticket offers, you have to have the traffic, like you said, like you have to get that place of so many views per day. So, I would say I focus more on the high ticket offers and the service side of my business. Does that have just as good like optimization potential, even if you're doing more like sales calls type of things?
Absolutely. But when you're dealing with a service, well, really a product or a service, the best way to get people to your website is through a blog. So do you have a
Mhm.
blog on your website?
Yeah, the podcast show notes are set up
Or
as a
the
blog.
Perfect, perfect. So those blogs will help you sell your coaching services.
Mm,
Talk about things that your clients ask. That
mhm,
way, as people are searching Google for answers, they may find the blog post you wrote about that topic. And
mhm.
then you can have a direct link in there to your freebie, to
Yeah.
whatever you want to get them on your email list. And then that's where you can go ahead and convert them into a paid client.
Yeah, so good, so good. I know, I remember the days when, like, I was finding business coaches online, right, through their blogs, like the Nectar Collective, I can't remember her name. It's like so many of them were like everything. I mean, I remember signing up for email marketing 10 years ago with Aweber because I found it on somebody's blog. I'm like, God, Aweber's terrible. Right? But it's like it was so different 10 years ago than it is now. What are you like seeing are some of the biggest changes or advantages even? I love that Google doesn't care about the length anymore. Is there anything else that you've seen in the industry that has completely shifted that is really working towards our advantage?
Um, yes. So basically, in general, the whole world has the whole world, the whole US anyway, has really started gearing towards small business.
Mm,
A lot of the big chain stuff is being frowned upon, and people want to work with small business owners. They want to buy from small business owners. So if it's a digital product, they would much rather buy from a small independent business than just a big stock thing out there, especially businesses who will listen to them
mhm,
and be in touch with them. They really want that personal touch. And that's what gives us the advantage. And getting found on Google is important because people are actively out there searching for stuff like that. I mean, yes, they go to Etsy,
mhm.
they but at the same time, if they Google it and they find something better, or if they Google it and they find a YouTube video that reviews something better, they are going
Mhm,
to go to that website. So you mentioned planners, and one
mhm,
thing that pops into my brain is Clever Fox Planner. Are you
mhm.
familiar with those?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing the best of both worlds, what you're talking about. They are selling on Amazon
Mhm,
and on their website, but everything is fulfilled through Amazon. So
mhm.
even when you purchase on their website, the fulfillment goes through Amazon. So
Yeah.
they kind of take their hands out of that, and it makes things a lot easier. It makes it streamlined. And I know that they have exploded over the last few years. They went for just a few planners to like a planner for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them on Amazon actually. That's really interesting. And are they a small business technically?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have
At
to look
least they
them up.
were when I discovered them about 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have really big dreams for the Messy Success brand. Like we're trademarked and all that good stuff. I really want to focus on e-commerce and products for creatives specifically, right? Like we're not all meant to live in this color-coded spreadsheet world, right? Like we need white space and bullet journal space and planners that we're not afraid to mess up.
Yes, yes. And in the creative space, there is a very from my personal experience, there's a large number of neurodivergent people, and
Mhm.
they need something like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets and structured planners are not designed for my friends who are neurodivergent. They need something that they can adapt for themselves.
Yes.
And that could be another selling angle to tackle.
Yeah, yeah. My planner
You know,
doesn't have dates because I won't use a planner that has dates because I'm gonna fall off the wagon for a while. Like, and I need to be able to pick it back up and nobody will know.
see, there's a keyword for you, planners
Mhm.
without dates right there.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, I love it. So cool. Is there anything else that you want to share about your journey or any like learning moments? We love self development. We love breakthroughs. We love mindset. Has there been a shift in like who you've had to become to build the business that you've built?
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. I definitely had to get out of that mindset of the starving artist that
Mm,
so many musicians are fed. It was fed to me like it was a romantic life, and there is nothing romantic about not being able to pay your rent. It's, you need money to survive.
mm-hmm,
So I had to break through that. I also 2 of my biggest breakthroughs. One was when I hired a business coach and started working with a business
mm-hmm,
coach because I really needed someone who'd done much more than me. For years, I tried to piecemeal like little free offers together to create something, and it just wasn't happening. And it wasn't until I invested in a business coach that it really changed things. And let me tell you, that was scary.
yeah.
That was super scary because that was a lot of money. And then most recently, I have discovered this book that I am fascinated by. It's called The Manifestation Wheel.
Mm,
And it's about manifesting, but from kind of a sciency viewpoint. Because I personally, no shade to manifestors out there, I saw manifesting as some sort of woo-woo, envisioning things into existence. But reading this book has really changed things because it talks about like the mindset you need to manifest,
mm-hmm.
and that you can't manifest without action, which is something that I always knew, and that was the key component. So that's been kind of a big shift for me recently.
Oh, I love that. I am very woo woo, but I love learning about the science behind it because I've always known that I had a really strong intuition and couldn't really explain it or put the pieces together. And then when I started actually learning the neuroscience was when I was like, oh, like this is real. Like law of attraction is as real as the law of gravity. And
Absolutely.
really understanding that, and not only made it easier for me, but made it so much easier to work with my students or people who are a little skeptical of the woo. It's like, no, this is real. So I wrote down that book. I'm gonna have to check it out. The Manifestation Wheel. Is that what you said?
Yes, I have it right here. It is by Alan Seal.
Okay. I haven't read that one. I'll have to check it out. That's exciting. And I'm so glad you said that about a business coach. I know my coach absolutely changed my life. And coaches are getting a little bit of a bad rep. Like people are really trying to make their way right now by kind of tearing down the industry or tearing down other people. And I'm like, that might be your experience through your lens with a coach. That coach probably did genuinely want to help, but oh my gosh, my coach has like hands down changed everything for me. And I operate from so much gratitude that I get to be a little bit of the ripple effect of the work that he has done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's like finding the right coach is what's important. They're not all, there's the bro marketers out there, there's the scammers out there, but it's really trusting your intuition and finding the right coach for you. And like you said, that stretchy investment, you want it to feel scary, you want it to make you a little bit nervous, but that's how we expand. If we don't take those risks, we're going to stay exactly in the same spot.
Absolutely. I mean, if I go out and I pay $20 for something, I expect $20 out of it. But if I go
Mhm.
out and I pay $10,000 for something, you better bet I'm going to take that very seriously because we just changed the game.
Yeah.
$10,000 is like half of a used car.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. When I joined one of his programs, I literally was like, "Well, I guess if it really comes down to it, I'll sell my car." Like, if I really struggle to make my money back, there's always that. I can just sell the car. So that's funny that you said that as a reference. I didn't have to. Now that car actually makes me money, so it's all good. My
Excellent.
husband and I started a Turo business. I don't know if you've heard of Turo, the
I
car
have not.
sharing. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's car sharing, which is kind of like Airbnbs, but for cars. And we had been wanting to do something together, like that was business related. And I just found that on TikTok and I was like, hey, check this out. And finally he was like, we went down the rabbit hole. We researched for like a month and he was like, let's do it. So now that same Highlander that I love so dearly that I was willing to sell, to grow my business is actually turned around and making me money, which is such a cool, like, for full circle moment.
And that's just another way of thinking about how creativity can generate yet another page in your income portfolio.
Yes, yes, exactly. I remember when I first went off on my own, I kept reading over and over how millionaires have 7 revenue streams, right? Like the average number of revenue streams that a millionaire has is 7. So I was like, okay, let's start chipping away at the 7. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so you mentioned your signature offer is a membership. Tell us a little bit about that. I love a good membership.
Okay, so I have a group coaching membership. It's called Creative SEO. And it helps creatives, small businesses, musicians, artists, photographers, web designers. Well, web designers should already know what they're doing, but to get their website found on Google. But then it also has a second component to it as well. Once your website's ranking, it talks about how to get passive sales. It
Mm.
does a deep dive into digital products, digital downloads, courses, etc. And coming up soon, probably around January, it's going to also have sections on YouTube SEO on it because
Oh, nice.
YouTube is something that I've done a deep dive into. I started a channel um a little I took started taking my channel very seriously in January, and I am growing really fast. I just hit 400 subscribers. I was at
Amazing.
300 a month ago, so 100 in the last month, and I'm figuring out exactly what it takes. I am regularly getting new subscribers added just every single day. So as I learn this, I don't want to put it out there on paper until I have a little bit more of it under my belt and my channel is monetized with AdSense. But YouTube SEO is going to be in there as well.
Oh my gosh, I am such a believer in the YouTube SEO. We have barely scratched the surface. I mean, I think I just broke 100 subscribers, but there are a few videos that have performed so well because we kind of mastered the keyword and the title and what people are searching. So I'm like, man, imagine like when we continue to lean into YouTube as a strategy, what becomes possible. And I love like doing these little experiments and being like, ooh, I can definitely see how this works for people because I've seen so many people try to repurpose their podcast on YouTube and they're getting like no views whatsoever. And I'm like, we just threw a few little ideas out there and we used, some resources to title them. And I'm like, ooh, this is going to be exciting when we really lean into it.
Oh yeah,
So
my videos now, I'm starting to pick up a couple hundred views in the first couple of days.
that's awesome.
So yeah, and I had one a few weeks back that the last time I checked it was at 19,000 views.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, it was just a couple of weeks ago. So
that's so exciting. And are you doing like one video a week or are you putting out more than that?
I am doing 2 videos a week,
Mhm.
one in the passive income search engine optimization small business world, and then one is a plan with me because I
Mm.
love my planners. I love the planning community. So, every Friday, I put out a plan with me of me setting up my Hobonichi Cousin planner for either the week or the month or daily pages. And so those are the 2 things that I do. I do business and planning.
Fun. And are they on the same channel?
Yes.
Oh, very cool, very cool. I know I always kinda struggle, like, there's so many mixed advice out there on, like, what you should do on your channel, but I guess as you're doing the 2 videos and they're very consistent, that would still do really well.
Well, I knew from day one that I did not just want to build a channel that got lots of views. I wanted to build
Yeah,
a community.
yeah,
So I feel like the people who come in with the planning see the personal side of me. And
yeah,
then sometimes they stick around for the business. And people who come in from the business who see a planner video get the personal side of me as well. Because
yeah,
I think as educators in any form or fashion, when people start to connect with you personally, they're more likely to actually listen to you and take your
mhm,
advice. And
mhm.
I am human. I am flawed. I have good days. I have bad days. Like you said, it is a messy world out there, and we're all navigating it together.
Yeah, I love that. I'm definitely gonna check out your channel, and maybe I'll have to send you my planner and you can give me an honest review.
Oh,
It's SEO'd as a manifestation journal because one thing I did learn with Amazon is like mastering those keywords and the searchability. And undated planner was just like way too broad. So manifestation journal on Amazon gets about 6,000 searches a day. So if I can get it ranked on the first page with manifestation journal, because it is both, it's an undated planner journal. It's got blank pages, it's got weekly, it's got yearly, it's got a whole section for manifestation. Um, but right now it's only on the first page for boho manifestation journal, which is only getting about 300 searches a day.
I know, and it's just you have to keep tweaking things until you
Yes.
find that secret sauce. But yeah, send it over. I'll be happy to do a review of it on my channel.
Oh, fun, fun, fun. Okay, we'll definitely connect and do that. And anything else? I'll put your membership, all your good stuff in the show notes. Is there anything else that you just feel called to share?
Yes. So to all the listeners out there, you got this. Like, it may feel messy, it may feel scary, but trust me, you can do it. It's all about believing in yourself and knowing that you have a support system around you. And I know both of us are out there supporting your community and trying to help them.
Yeah, and my community is going to love you. We have so many teachers, former teachers, creatives. Like it was such an easy yes. So I'm so excited to stay connected, to do some more collaborations, to check out your YouTube channel, and we'll put everything in the show notes. Thank you, Tanya, for joining us.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, party people, this is episode 158. So to go to the show notes, you can go to elizabethhenson.co/E158. You can get a special link to Tanya's membership there and her Instagram and all the ways to connect with her and learn more about Tanya and what she does. Please make sure you send this to a friend or leave us a review on iTunes or go say hi to Tanya. And as always, thank you so much for being here, for pushing play today, for supporting my mission where I really am helping more people do what they love and make a living doing it. I could not be happier. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I will see you guys next week.